they're looking like some waves this weekend and towards the end of next week as well for us.
Good evening, insiders. Matty, good evening. What's that you're watching there, mate?
Evening, bud. There is the current West Ham versus Fiorentina Europa Cup final at the moment. But you've got my full attention from now on. How are you doing? How's things? Surviving the
I'm
flat
good.
spell?
Yep, I'm good, mate. My grandparents are from East Leighton, which I'm told by Jazz, the keenest surfer in Hossagore, means I'm Hammers man. I'm a Hammers man.
For sure.
Go the
Absolutely.
Hammers.
Up your irons. So yeah,
I just want to make a quick apology, listeners, to our last episode. On the way home from work, I fell into a field of opium, and it basically tranquilized me, and especially my vocal cords. So tonight, I'm going to do my best to speak a bit faster. I'm no longer in the Queensland outback. I'm in Europe, and we need to talk faster, don't we, mate?
I was about to say, if you're a true East London Cockney boy, you have a pretty rapid word speed coming out your mouth.
Well, I would if I didn't have an interview. You wouldn't call it an interview. We had an apero with some family friends because we're sending our children to Paris to study. So we met with another parent, which I knocked back a couple of quick IPAs. They're only 3.8%. Thanks very much, Amodia Beer. And then went to our weekly restaurant night where I had a quick couple of whites and finished off with an arranged spicy rum shot. And it's a night off. Huh?
Yeah. Enjoy yourself. Get loose.
I better be talking it up. Hey, but I just want to mention to you, Matt, apart from the fact that I loved my Need Essentials black wetsuit because I'm just core, I have also noticed, this is our favorite brand, listeners. If you don't know who Need Essentials are, come out of the rock you've been hiding under. We're talking a core vertical retail brand that's supplied to customer. And they just come out with a new line of board shorts, which look sick as, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, for sure. And I actually, so in line with that, because I was going to tell you, I had a pretty heavy weekend and some news, or some good news and some news anyway coming from that. But this weekend, I went down to the Wavelength Festival. So Wavelength as a magazine invited me down to the festival there. That's called the Spring Classic, and it was flat as. But I took a free two. They sent me a free two zipperless in the Ulux, and took that for like a morning swim down there, like little dip type thing, because I just needed to get in the ocean. It is so comfortable, and like obviously it's made extremely well and consciously as well, which is always good, especially when we're in the ocean and around that environment. And it was amazing, like as comfortable as wetsuits get. So
let's be specific. Ulix, we're talking non-petroleum materials, correct?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Japanese
it's tree sap. It's tree sap, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Ulix is actually just like a brand like Polartec, which was that fluffy airflow sort of winter inner lining jacket. So Ulix is more not necessarily the name of the fiber composition as opposed to one brand of the tree sap stuff. But I guess that's the future for us, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think it's the way that Patagonia have gone. I think most of their suits, or a lot of their suits, are like that, and obviously they push the boundaries on being green and eco, but quality. But it was one of those ones where it felt like the best quality, and obviously then has a benefit of being sustainable and well, everything else that comes with it.
Doesn't mean anything if you're not warm. Were you warm?
Oh, super warm. And it was a 3-2. So 3-2, you kind of sometimes you get a bit cold, but no, absolutely snug. And for a tall guy as well, it fit me really well. So I loved it. But
What sort of water temperatures were we?
well, there's a horrible northeasterly, which is a cold wind. It was pretty warm, like I reckon I don't actually know. I reckon like 14, 15.
Okay. We're sitting
Yeah.
at we're sitting at 20 at the moment, and it's the start of June.
Far out.
Keep surfing, crew, while you can. The end is near. We won't get all gloom and doom, but
We've got
it's looking hot. It's looking hot. Is that because there's zero wave activity?
maybe. It's
Zero.
weird here because the northeasterly wind that's pushing through is just horrible and cold. Um, it's keeping a chill on it, but it's still been nice and warm. But there's actually some waves. They're looking like some waves this weekend and towards the end of next week as well for us. So the end of the flat spell could be over as well, which is
No, not for us. Not for us. Not what I've seen. But I'm not going to
But I got
bite the hand that feeds me, which is Mother Nature, and
no,
I'm quite happy with a little bit of good weather, to tell you the truth.
for sure. Bit of a classic
And
story to tell you from my weekend then, Daz. So
send
down,
it.
down at the fully down at the festival. It was meant to be a surf comp on, but it was like flat as. And I was with Harry Timpson and a few of the other boys, Job Harris, Will Bailey, and all that. They all rip. And they called the surf comp on, but off, sorry, but then done a comp where as teams you done so we basically had to do a beach run. So one of like we started off so Job done this beach run where they had like a course run out, ran to a point where he tagged Harry and Harry done a paddle battle across the length of the bay. And he was up against this like longboarder who's known for rapid paddling, and to be fair, he smoked him. And then he tagged me, and I had to run the length of this beach and then up these stairs, but as an egg and spoon race. And I think it was like 140 stairs.
The
And
old egg and spoon race.
yeah. And we only went and won it, didn't we? The boys. I represented the inside as well. We went and took out the comp, got like
What did you win?
Sick prizes. One like a Ruka gift bag with boardies, t-shirt, hat. One like a 36 can slab of this brand called Dead Man's Fingers. It's a rum and tequila brand. What else did we win? We won a Sea Monster wetsuit hanger thing, which are pretty cool as well. And yeah, it was sick. Like actually a decent prize just for turning up. So yeah, I was pretty stoked on that as well. But
Well, mate, enough about us. And I'm gonna follow your lead. We're not going to talk about any Gabby Gate or any of that stuff. The pool's gone, thank God. Thank God.
yeah,
I've got a weird premonition that El Salvador is going to be shit, and I hope not. I hope
you
I'm
see it
completely
today.
wrong, because I'm telling you, if El Salvador is shit, I'm boycotting the Brazil event. I'm not going to start watching again until J Bay or Chopu.
Did you see El Salvador today in the ISAs?
No.
Massive. Like
Oh yeah, I heard that.
proper content.
I heard him talking last night. I watched a little bit of the ISAs actually.
Yeah, I watched. I mean, I tried to keep
I
up with it.
mean,
I was
there's
so lost.
nothing going on here. You can't really bloody surf. Huh? Oh, closing ceremony. So let's go live.
Al
And women's final is Tati won. Who
yeah,
won the men's?
Al Cleland Jr.
Holy Batmanoli from
Yeah,
Mexico.
yeah, Mexico.
Wow. Did he qualify? Is he an Olympian? Is that
Yeah,
what that means?
I believe. Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah, because they're a company. Yeah, this doesn't get you an extra spot, but it means that they can. So yeah, that gets Mexico in. Yeah,
Okay, Luca
it'll be gnarly
Messina
at Pi.
second. Okay, so that means Carly. I was gunning for him. He got smart. He got knocked out in the semis. So
He didn't even
we'll
need to
leave it at
be
that.
in.
I've got one thing to comment about the ISAs. I guess a lot happened, but Have you ever watched the film Zoolander, Matt?
I actually haven't, and loads of people have said I should have. But yeah, no, I do know
Ben
bits about it
Stiller.
though.
Ben
Yeah.
Stiller about a male model. I'm starting to wonder if Ethan Ewing, if there's like maybe we'll get him on the show one day. Maybe we won't if he listens to this. But and he's from my home state. But is there anything behind that frontal crane of his? I'm wondering.
I think he's pretty switched on, to be fair, Ethan. But
Okay, but I just wonder why he goes into a heat and doesn't catch waves.
well, yeah, there is that. But did he like? It's
It's
hard.
a strong tendency in his career, I'm telling you.
It is. It's hard with the ISAs, isn't it? Because you don't know if they're paddling out just to tick a box and then want to go home, or whether they actually care. Because John was riding a white tiger from Pizel, which is not a performance board. I think Felipe was out on a 20, or
They're ticking the boxes then, I guess. But I would have thought the person that won would have got in the Olympics. Why would you even have the thing? If you win it, you don't get in the Olympics.
because
Of which,
you didn't
if
get
the Olympics weren't at Tahiti, we wouldn't even care, but they're at Tahiti.
on this one. It wasn't an extra spot. This was just so if your country wasn't in the Olympics, you can qualify for them.
Okay, so you can get your country in.
Yeah, but like for example, for Brazil, they're already like they know that they're on the WSL, so they'll qualify. Like, so they're going to have two spots.
Okay,
then,
okay.
Yeah. So it didn't have
Bit
any
weird,
bearing.
like compared to athletics, where like they don't have an ISA of athletics. They're just in. You
I was
run
going to
fast,
bring that
you're
up.
in.
Like, if like Jamaica can have as many people as they want. Like in the women's 100-meter relay, I think last year or whatever,
15 Jamaicans.
there was like there out of 8 people there, I think there were 5 Jamaican women, and like I know that it'd mean that it'd be a lot of.
Is that because they supply the Olympic Committee with good dope or what?
Good Bolivian ether wash, maybe.
Jamaican ganja.
Maybe, but with
And we're not condoning it, listeners. It's not a performance enhancing drug.
My comment on the ISAs is that this is the first time, because we spoke to Joel and Didier and because we'd done poddies on it, I was like, right, I'm going to make
I'm watching it.
Yeah, I'm going to make a concerted effort to follow this, and it's impossible. The repechage heats and how many heats there are and how many people, physically impossible. It is so difficult to follow.
Fahini Ferreira got to the final 4th. That's going to be good for her campaign.
Yeah, good.
But Joanne beat her. She got 3rd. And like,
what,
holy moly, man. Tati Weston Webb, she is having a successful career, isn't she? Really? Like, she won it. Like, she's in the top 5. She's a success story.
Definitely. The one I watched a bit of the men's today, and Kanoa was ripping. Like, I'm surprised he didn't win it.
Good.
But
he's on the comeback.
But in terms of
shocker, didn't he? Up until now.
Yeah. In terms of what you said is like if it pumps there and it looks like today, then it'll be interesting because apparently last year was a bad swell there. So if they have a real good swell, then we could be talking about.
It kicks off in 2 days. I've got my team ready. I've got my bonuses ready. Oh, yeah, I've got everything ready.
Won't go into your whole team, but who are you going for your poweries?
I bet. Do you know? Do you understand my game? No, not even. Do you? I don't do.
No, yeah, you do.
WSL. WSL. I boycotted them, Matt.
Yeah.
Out of boredom.
Yeah.
My game. You all put in $100 and you actually win something, and WSL thing, it just wasn't happening for me. But so I'm going to say my bonus is I'm touching wood. I'm jinxing it. Toledo, like, why wouldn't he win there?
Well, yeah, true. Brazil would have a different answer.
Is there any sort of forecast? Has anyone seen a forecast?
I haven't actually.
Yeah, because since the big
I have the premium Surfline app.
Multinationals joined up. I might get it. I just don't want to get it because I'm against multinationals.
I'll give you my login. Don't listen to that
Did you
Surfline.
hear that? Don't listen to that, Surfline. Shh.
Well, it's saying 4 to 5 foot, 4 to 6 foot, 4 to 6 foot, and then getting a bit smaller. So maybe they'll kick off and run
Right,
straight away.
is that from 9? From the 9th, 4 to 6 foot?
So from the 9th, it's 4 to 5 foot and 4 to 6 foot, and then Saturday is 4 to 6 foot all day. Sunday's 4 to 6 foot in the morning, then dropping to 3 to 5. Monday 3 to 4. So they might try and cram it.
Smash it out. There's only
Yeah.
24 of them and 12. Have we got any confidence in this surf report from the multinationals? Have we got any historical data saying that when they say 4 to 6 foot, it actually is 4 to 6 foot and not 2 to 3 foot?
Not from me, we don't.
Never from me. No idea. Never been there.
But
Never have any of our guests.
As I just said, I'd give you my login. I'll say something nice and say, let's trust in Surfline. They haven't done me dirty just yet. So
do you have any Bitcoin?
I actually do,
Well, there you go. No wonder you like El Salvador.
Yeah, not enough. It wouldn't even get me a half a Coca-Cola out there. But I do have one. But
you got like $5 worth of Bitcoin.
Not even that. But yeah. What I was going to ask. So while we're on El Salvador.
No, let's stay in El Salvador. It's the only thing interesting in my surfing world at the moment. I'd like to say I'm watching a whole bunch of cool free surfing edits, and I've got a trip plan to Desert Point or whatever, and I've got none of that going on.
No, so I was going to stick with El Salvador. So you've said about Philippe. What do you reckon about a dark horse? Someone that might not win, but do well that's not expected to.
Rio.
That's a real good call. But
I'd have to think if there was one wave on the tour made for him this year, which wasn't Karama's, and even I think if you put Rio out at Karama's against Ethan Toledo, Kanoa, Griff, the list is quite long. But I think Rio, with his Smurf stature, power, natural footer.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think it's a good call. Mine, because I know you're about to say, what about you, Matt? Lobby. I reckon Liam O'Brien I'm going to call semi-final or better for Liam O'Brien.
I'd like to see that too. I thought I probably said it. I thought after Margie's event that he's a potential future contender, which is a big call because, he's like, I just thought he had it. I thought he got stitched up a little bit on the judging against John in the pool, which didn't do John any favors anyway. Like, he didn't go much further anyway. But he's got El Salvador written right over him. Burley Heads, Snapper Rocks, same sort of wave, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
On rock, but small, fun, reforming right-hand point.
Yeah, it looks
which with power.
Looks like such a sick wave. Like last year's event, I was like, I'd love to go surf that.
Especially when they had the good day.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen video footage of that place. Like,
yeah, Didier was telling us. Didier was saying Punta Roca's
10 out of 10, man. This ex-young Hell Pro Frenchie Dimitri Ouvre, his dad they live in Saint Bart. And he'd fly over there for surf trips and be sending us pictures, and it was really, really good.
Yeah.
So there's an obviously switch course. We'll get back to the men's, but we're just doing the initial attack.
Yeah.
There's one clear favourite in the women's if it's good like that, isn't there?
Steffi G.
Yeah, Steffi G. Yep, go the goat,
goat. For me, all eyes on Katie Simmers.
All eyes on Katie Simmers Jr.
Yeah, on a right-hand point, like there's that. She released that Toasted film, which she edited and filmed and all of that, and she's in Mexico at right-hand points, getting barreled, doing airs, doing some pretty progressive turns, or what Brazilians would call simple surfing, and I think she could do some damage out there. and she was shit.
I'm not on the Katie fence yet.
I'm all on the train. I'm
I
all
think she's
aboard.
amazing. I think she shouldn't be so heavily on our radar yet, so that she can mature into it. But we'll see.
Yeah.
What about someone like Taylor Wright? Is it Taylor or Tyler, or is it Taylor
Tyler,
Swift?
you donut.
Yeah, Tyler.
The only one thing weirdly is like I don't know if she will just like do that layback all the time at a right hand point. Like,
She wasn't doing that, but if she
hmm,
does it, I got a feeling they might start underscoring her.
yeah,
Not even underscoring her. Let's say demoting her.
I do think Molly could go well,
Yep.
and she's due a bit of an event. So
Any goofies apart from Tati that have got crack out there? Are there even any goofies in the tour?
Caroline Marks,
Yeah, Caroline Marsh just come off a
surf
good.
surf world
She could win it. She could win
Yeah,
it. She's a winner.
yeah.
You don't
So
think?
she surfed good at the pool.
But I mean, does it look like she's coming back to her best?
I think so for sure. She looks like she's enjoying herself, which is good.
Touted as a world champ. Same deal as Katie, but 2 years ago, three
Yeah,
years ago.
and I think she's there. If she gets, I think she's like at the pool. She showed that she's got high quality surfing. So, um, no doubt she's there.
Or dominance by Carissa Moore.
I don't see it happening. No, I don't.
Don't see it happening after the pool win.
No,
And
but
a perfect right hand point break in the
yeah.
pool.
Also, talk about perfect right hand point breaks, and it's something you said about. I just have to say about it because it's probably the best thing I've watched in a little while. Well, especially in the last few weeks. And it was refreshing to watch after the pool. But Album dropped a 4 minute edit with Mackenzie Bowden and Victor Bernardo down in Mexico on some ASIMs and some 20s. And I thought it was so good. Like, it's the first thing that I've watched in a while that's made me really want to go surfing. So I wanted to shout that out if anyone hasn't seen it. I think it's called Silver Moon.
They're looking pretty loose, aren't
Yeah,
they? Those chords just so loose and fast.
yeah. So I reckon if you haven't if you're not a WSL warrior or if you just want a refreshing dose of some free surfing after the pool especially, check it out on YouTube or whatever because that is a little clip that I thought was really well put together. So
is it proof that the thruster is the 511 thruster is just a Formula One race car only meant for Formula One drivers?
I don't think so, but I do think it's proof that surfing's not all about going as hard and as fast as you can vertically in the same style as many times as possible. It's still, especially for free surfing, there's a lot of space for style, a lot of space for drawing unique different lines and getting creative on the wave with the wave and with your boards. And I think
It's not
sometimes
new. It's just been
not new, but yeah.
homogenized. You know that because I stumbled across a Rasta video the other day
Oh,
in India, and it was like at least more than 10 years old
yeah.
on a what you call a performance twin, really, like 10 years before Josh Kerr and album,
Yeah,
and it just shafting it.
probably would have been a Gary McNeil. They're really cool boards.
Whereas in then it was kind of classed as being some sort of like anomaly, and
Yeah,
now it's more standard.
definitely more people open minds to it for sure. And I think there's space for being both as well. You know, look at Josh Kerr. He'll get on a thruster and surf as well as anybody, but he'll also get on a 20 and go nuts. So same as like Jack Freestone. All like, funnily enough, they all surf for album, but it
They
wasn't
picked
long.
up a good team. It reminds me when I've taken off. I'm not trying to name drop, but honestly, when I started at the surfboard factory and we had Channel Islands as a brand, and like I looked at the rider list, and we're talking 2007, so that's 16 years ago. There was Kelly, Taylor Knox, Rob Machado, Tom Curran, the Gadauskas kids were just kids. It was like you know, it was an unbeatable team. It was the most marketable thing you could imagine, and it seems like Album have cottoned onto that in the Western, not the Western world. I'm trying to think, the non-CT world, like you said. They've got the A list of riders: Asher Pacey, Jack Freestone, Josh Kerr, Victor Bernardo, who came out of the woodwork, Mackenzie Bowden, who's not really at their level, but he's still a really good surfer, and he's kind of like on there because of his social media presence, wouldn't you think?
I think so, but I do think his surfing it suits perfectly as well. Like his social media presence took over. He was a QS battler. He was on the Q, a bit like Victor. He was almost a nobody on the QS.
And then realize that actually he's obviously he's an extrovert, like, because you don't, like, he's acting in all these social media shit, so he's marketable. And like Dimity Stoyle,
Jimmy
she got
Disco.
signed up from she got signed up by Roxy, really post competition career, because she's got social media presence. She's a DJ. She still rips. She's an extrovert, and she can get on the commentary team.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, Mackenzie's value is better than a WQS Warrior, isn't it?
Imagine. Yeah. You like 100%. There's a reason why Mackenzie Bowden's got a quickie sticker on his nose and album sponsorship, and Callum Robson is struggling.
Doesn't. And I'm not
Struggling.
saying that when I said he's below their level, I'm not saying he's not a good surfer. But we're talking Asher Pacey,
Yeah. No.
Jack,
No. Exactly.
Jack Freestone. They're like as good as it gets.
100%. You're talking. What we're talking about is if you was to pick one to surf a heat for your life, you'd pick others over Ash. You'd pick others over Mackenzie. But if you was gonna pick one to sell more product for you and get more engagement on social media, you'd pick Mackenzie every day of the
Which
week.
brings it, but so there you go. That brings us back to the other, like the James Dean of surfing, maybe Torren Martin, where I had a little conversation with Bradley the other day, and like I forget what I saw, and I was like, "How's that?" He sent it to me, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I'm sure there's a lot of jocks, thruster jocks, that just get pissed and go, he's a mid-lengther, but put him on a 5'8" twin fish
Yeah,
backside at Desert Point or Fiji, and he's really top level, man. He's the new Rasta.
for sure. And also on the flip side of that, because I completely agree, there is not a single brand on the planet in terms of surf brand that wouldn't put him on the team and break the
I
bank to
reckon.
do so.
Yeah, I reckon too. I reckon he could nearly. I don't know if he's thought about that.
I said it in a previous
Like, just
pod.
get an agent. Like, I might going to send him an email.
Maybe we
Let's get
should
his
get a
agent.
little cut.
So,
But
what's the female version of Torren in the world at the moment? Jelena Vincent?
uh nah, maybe not quite, I don't think. Um
They haven't
I,
got there yet,
I think the female
unfortunately.
version, the closest in the female world of that, I think is still Steph.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing, because Steph's got 8 world titles.
I
She
know.
doesn't. She's not a James Dean. She
But
can just
she
do.
does both.
Yeah, but one who didn't do that, but there isn't, is there? Because they just didn't have the, let's look for the right adjective. Well, they didn't have that pathway that was bankable to
No.
be able to do that to start with.
You would argue that the closest person in terms of commercial value and obviously still surfs good would be Alana. You know,
Potentially, yeah. Yep.
she still gets paid,
Well spotted.
or even maybe even Bethany. You know, I don't know, there's quite a lot of brands I reckon that would get Bethany straight on board because of her presence, her story, and that she rips. So
Apart from the fact that the WSL seemed to have cancelled her from
later, yeah,
from political comments, that we won't go there because we don't care.
we don't.
Well, if we did care, it's not here that we're going to talk about it.
No, and exactly, and I think to that point is that's why it's funny. Like Torrens almost accidentally stumbled upon his
It's just
ability
a
to be,
niche. A
and then
niche.
like people like Mackenzie and other people have put that into place. So and tried to create what they've managed to create. Just a little update, Daz. West Ham just scored
West Ham, the Hammers.
in the 89th minute,
89th minute, what's the score?
2-1 West Ham. It's probably about to be
Come
over.
on, the Hammers.
I'm not sure why he's not blown up just yet.
So
But
how many teams are in London? Like hell teams. I've checked this out a bunch of times and I always forget that. You've got Arsenal, you've got Chelsea, West Ham. Who else?
Tottenham, I hate to say it.
Tottenham Spurs.
I mean, they're
Tottenham.
rubbish, but yeah. So,
Okay, they're not that good.
well, they are, but yeah.
And then you go out into the outskirts.
Yeah, and Brentford are in the Prem now, and they're good. They've done well. But none of them are European Cup champions, which West Ham are about to be. So,
And what about Man City Saturday night? Champions
I
League final. Is it Saturday or Sunday night?
Saturday night, and I really hope they win.
Juventus.
No, Inter Milan.
They've got to win.
I
How
really,
many
really hope
finals
so.
is this?
I think it's the third in a row or something crazy, or the semi-final and two finals.
I think I'm going to get RMC Sport for the night to watch it with Marlo. I'll watch it.
It'll be on
For
YouTube.
non-soccer fans out there, just think we're just having a bit of a toss-off. They're not the highest paid sportsmen in the world for nothing. There's a technical, athletic level that, like, it's hard to say whether these guys, if they had the opportunity to take up surfing, would be able to beat Felipe, or maybe they would. What they can do is just beyond like what a normal kid can do. Correct?
Yeah, basically, and what you've got to realize with football as such as well is, you're talking, it's like the number of footballers in the world.
That's it. And even the number of footballs just in like, let's say London,
Yeah,
and the outskirts. Like, I see a good kid. I remember when I was going with Mar, you see a good kid at our local club, and he wouldn't even, or maybe, and you'd know it if you saw it, he wouldn't be the best kid in our department. And then you've got the state there, and then you've got that state, and then you've got the best kid of the Aquitaine, which is a pretty big state. Like, send him up to Paris for the weekend in the under 11s, and he probably just get annihilated.
Yeah, West Ham,
and then it's the same for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But exactly, and that's but at the same time, you witness kids, and the surf world's a lot smaller as well, so it's kind of relative. And you see the fights. You would have seen it. You would have seen many real good surfers who have ambition and work hard, but they just can't crack it. And it is the same with surfing. Just it's a smaller.
The thing with surfing is they're doing all that, and there's no prize money at the end. Where the football players, like, if they're that good, they get to 16. Okay, there's good 16-year-olds around the world getting fully sponsored, John, etc. But you've got, like, across the world, 10,000 16-year-olds that are getting completely looked after and focused on doing that. So you got such a high percentage chance, haven't you, that you're going to get 100 good ones?
Yeah.
As opposed to one.
Exactly. And it's just all of those, like, the one percenters that, and all of it makes it, you know, it it is all worth it if you can make it, and you have to put so much hard work in um to get it out, no matter what sport and no matter what
Well,
job
let's
as well.
bar. I love talking about that, but I've got a heat draw up for you, Matt, with El Salvador, and I'm kind of buzzing on this comp because it's just been just a shit fight this year with crap waves, and I just feel like giving the whole thing away. But Ethan Ewing, Matty McGill, Kelly Slater.
Yeah, well, the goat's going into round two.
No brainer there, eh? Who you picking in that one?
Well, I'm not picking the goat.
Okay, Matthew, he's going to beat out Ethan.
I reckon. Have you seen the other heat where I think it's
Well, we're
Medina?
going from one to 10. So
Oh,
I guess you're picking Ethan.
I'll go. Oh well, it's the two go through, don't they? So I'd go Ethan and Matt McGilvray. Kelly's going into
Yeah,
round
okay.
two.
Well, let's pick the winner, Ethan. 77% of the WSL fan base are picking him. Toledo, Ibelli, John Till.
Felipe.
91% are picking him. Okay, here it gets more interesting. Chianca, Geordie, Seth Moniz.
Um, I'm gonna go Geordie.
So am I, only 22%. So the majority of fans are going with current form, 73% for Gio. Griff, Cal Robson, and the perennial wild card, Brian Perez.
Griffin.
Yeah, you'd have to have rocks in your fucking shoes to pick something else. Here's a good one. Jack Robbo, Conor O'Leary, Rio.
Connor O'Leary.
Oh, I'm going to go Rio.
Fair. Good shout.
Do you reckon Jack, well, let's just spend 5 minutes on this. Do you reckon Jack's back?
I reckon he's back, but I reckon there'll be some ring rust.
A bit of ring rust. He did the pool, didn't look much.
No, he never does that.
Came off such a massive high. That's a hard thing, isn't it, being a professional athlete?
Must be. Must be. So
One little meniscus tweak, and you've forgotten like yesterday's news. Well, he's not forgotten, but he kind of is. I reckon nearly now everyone's going, well, because when he had his hot streak, Medina and John were off the tour. They're back on now.
yeah,
And now he's undergun because he's been injured.
yeah. So
I'd like to see him come back here. I don't know if El Salvador's the event that suits him for that, even though he's great in the air. We'll soon see.
me too.
Medina, oh, this is a great heat.
Great heat.
Medina, Ferreira, and Liam O'Brien.
Gabby.
Yeah, I'm going Gabby. I'd like to see
reckon,
Liam
I
get
reckon
second.
Lob's getting second.
I'd like to see him win it, but I'm not being anti-Brazilian here, listeners. I'm Brigada. Just because he's going against the two complainers.
Yeah. I think Gab will win it and Lob will come second. So
That'd be good. When they come in, they can do a chemistry test on the beach.
yeah.
So he's John, Leo is another smoker of a heat. Baron.
John.
I'm going Leo.
Good shout. But I'm backing John.
82% for John, by the way, 67 for Medina. That shows how the fans base is running hot over Italo. Even the fan base is saying that he's 3 times better than Italo, which mathematically makes sense because he's got 3 world titles and Italo 1.
Yeah.
Ryan Callahan, Yago Dora, Kanoa.
Yeah. Oh, I want to back Yago. But Panoa on that right hander.
Yeah, I think Kanoa, but I mean that's
You
They're
go
the two.
Canal. I'm going to go Yago because last year he done some mental air out there.
Gee, the goofy footers that are on tour are extremely high level. Like, look at this: Arkal, Yago, Gabrielle, Italo, Connor. That's like, imagine, see how good you got to be goofy footer to get on tour to
Yeah,
stay on there. They're the only goofy footers. They're just absolute like like. There's not one of those five. Like Conor O'Leary's probably the, I guess you'd say the most underrated out of those five, because I mean Arkel's had an absolute
yeah,
stellar career, video parts and sponsorship and everything. But
yeah.
Connor, I thought was like, I forget what event it was. I thought he was like nearly sending the biggest Rios of all of
Portugal.
them, and he's the undergun.
In Portugal, he was going
Oh,
mad.
just smashing it.
And
But Kanoa's, you got to think Kanoa's going to light up. He's just had a dud of a year, and I
yeah,
just think he's too good to not come back.
I agree. With
I
with
reckon
your point,
he could be actually my dark horse, Matt.
yeah. Well, Canoa.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good call. It's a good call. With
Well, he
your
used to be.
with that point that you just said about the goofy foots and how hard it is for any of us to kind of get on tour and make an impact. Don't you think it's mad that you got that level of goofy foot and how good they are? And actually, if you look at the tour, in my opinion, it favors regular foots. Like
Oh,
it's
of course it does. Of course it does. But there are more regular foot surfers than goofies. Don't forget that as well.
yeah. I just think it's a shame. Sometimes you don't see some of the regular footers have mental backside like ability, and you don't get to see it. And
We've got to
then
get Raglan on, man. Raglan. Sorry, Raglan Surf Report. That's the big. It's the big push. Let's do it.
100% that left is. I mean, it's the J Bay of the. It's the left J Bay, right? Kind of. Um. Yeah, I think so. There definitely needs to be a proper left on tour, not the pool. Don't even talk to me about that. But yeah. I reckon it's going to be a sick event. I've got a feeling they might just get some really good comps. Well, it won't be massive, but 4 to 6 foot, and you could just see some people properly flare up. Some really high performance waves.
I'm not calling. See, it's weird. I'm not calling a goofy foot winner at this event, but it kind of is a pretty good wave surf backhand because it's not as fast as J Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all five of those guys can really like do extreme tail drifting reentries. Like apart from Connor, the other four are mad aerialists. They could do about six variations of a backhand Rio drifting carve and finish with a flyby. I don't know. I don't think, but
It's a more equal playing field. Like it could be a regular foot or a goofy foot to win it for sure.
if someone gave you $100 and you had to bet right now out of those five goofy footers, who was going to be the highest ranked goofy footer in this comp, who would you put it on?
It's hard not to put it on Gabriel.
Okay, I was going to say, I'd say the same thing. That's how dominant he is in all of our mind and visual memory.
Yeah, I mean he just won Margie's and that was on
Yeah,
his backside. So
yeah.
um yeah. So
Okay, what about because we're not misogynic, or even if we are, we try not to be if it's inbred. Only four heats. That's a misogenic tour to start with.
yeah.
Caroline Marks, Katie Simmons, Gabrielle O'Brien. Well, I know who you're going to say.
Uh, to win
No.
uh,
Mm.
I'll back Katie, but Caroline is a real good pick for that.
47% equal from the
Oh
fan
really?
base.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how tight it is on the fan base. Carissa Lakey, Leilani McGonigal.
I'm gonna go Lakey beats her.
Some high, Lakey.
Yeah. She's a dark horse for this event.
I think she's the most powerful frontside surfer on tour.
Definitely I think quickest going front side for sure as well. Um
Ty, Tyler, the goat, femme goat, and Joanne Dufour. My
Yeah, no,
France.
the beautiful Miss Stephanie Gilmore gets my pick every single
Okay.
day of the week.
Does she have to be classed as beautiful? Can you
Everything.
not just say talented?
Well, it's not just looks. She's a
I'm just
beautiful
telling you what
soul.
my wife would
She's,
say there.
she's
Huh?
stylish. She everything she does. She's a beautiful person. She does things beautifully kind. So yeah, she's
Well put,
beautiful.
Matthew. Molly Picklum, Tati WWW, and there's some names for you. And Betty Lou Sakura Johnson.
Molly.
I'm gonna go Betty Lou. I reckon she could be on a bit of a burner at this place. I reckon this place might suit actually Betty Lou.
Could real
She's an
yeah,
event winner,
yeah.
but I don't know if she's like I think she's equal power to Lakey, but
Mm,
not the same comp smarts.
no.
Not at all. And like, look,
Is that all
uh,
four? That's yeah, it's such a tight tour now, isn't it?
the Surfline have got an official forecast. Well, we'll see, mate. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It's 2 days. What's that, Saturday? Got a big week at work. What's the time schedule for Europeans, Matt, to watch this comp?
It's pretty good. Like I'm pretty used to it because of El Salvador and the ISAs, so
Oh,
it's kind of throughout the day. Yeah,
afternoon into early evening.
yeah, it's kind of good.
So
So
it's sick. Perfect.
yeah,
Best time. Like it's wound up by the time you've had your last glass of wine or sparkling water and you can head off to Kipsville.
exactly.
All right. Well,
Um,
it's been amazing talking to you tonight. Do you have any do's and don'ts?
or it's hard because there's not been really doing too much in terms of
In
it being so
life? In life.
it's been so flat. Um, I would say we kind of touched on it before, but um, do keep up your fitness because I had to do a 120 stair run with an egg and spoon and nearly died at the top
Oh,
and nearly coughed up blood. And don't be a Tottenham fan, always be a West Ham fan, champions of Europe, up your irons. What
go the
about you?
Hammers. Go the Hammers. I'm going to say try and stick off the piss, only because I mean tapping it a little bit. We all know that anyway.
Good effort.
It's just really easy to get into that social dilemma where if you're not drinking, you're not part of the group. It's easy to put a half a can of lemonade in your beer and pretend.
Yeah,
And if you don't want to, knock one back. I'm not going to tell people what to do, but I'm going to try to have a no beer week next week.
let's see how it goes.
So that's that. I don't know if that was a do or a don't.
Those,
It's a do don't.
yeah,
Do stay sober and don't get pissed.
good effort. 2 in 1.
And stay away from the opium fields as well.
That's it.
If you've got a podcast coming up.
And yeah, get a need wetty if you need a high quality suit.
Yeah, thanks again, Need.
And
And
we'll wrap there. We'll be back shortly. I reckon the El Salvador event with the shortened field is going to be a pretty quick turnaround. So we'll be back with a prediction and to celebrate picking a winner, I reckon.
okay, well, get your eyes on the El Salvador and start looking for a surf trip, I reckon.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Matt. Au revoir.
Thanks, bud. Au revoir.
Hey,